Hey everybody, we are in day 288 in our Bible reading plan, Jeremiah 20 to 22 and Psalm 75. And the big idea today is that the cost of speaking the truth arises from unexpected places and is balanced with the riches of experiencing God's goodness in unexpected ways. Now, chapter 20, poor Jeremiah, he gets put in prison. By who? But by the priest. Of all the people that could have come against him, it was the priest. And he beat him, put him in stocks, and then they released him the next day. And so Jeremiah says to him, we don't call you Pashur anymore, we're going to call you terror on every side. And he's kind of discouraged, which you can understand. In fact, he says, whenever I speak, I cry out violence and destruction, for the word of the Lord has become for me a reproach and a derision all day long. Verse 8. And then verse 9 is an awesome verse. He says, if I say I will not mention him or speak anymore in his name, there is in my heart, as it were, a burning fire shut up in my bones. Jeremiah couldn't but speak that which God has wired him to speak. He says, I am weary of holding it in, and I cannot. But the Lord is with me as a dread warrior. Therefore, my persecutors will stumble. And so, Jeremiah kind of goes through this a lot, where he's discouraged, but then he strengthens himself in the Lord. And then in chapter 21 and in 22, the Lord just judges the leaders. There's no reprieve. He's given them a chance. They've decades and centuries, and they have not listened. So this is the word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah from the Lord. Or this is the word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord when King Zedekiah sent to him, Pashur, inquire of the Lord for us. So they come and ask him, like, hey, what's going to happen? Can there be a let up? And basically, Jeremiah says, the Lord says, you're done. He says in verse 13 of 21, behold, I am against you, O inhabitant of the valley, O rock of the plain. Chapter 22 is an indictment against the kings. And so he goes through and tells them how they're going to suffer. And so remember the big picture, guys, because you can sort of look at that and be like, what, did God's mercy fail? But no, it didn't fail, because the whole point is we're making our way towards Jesus. The people of Israel don't need a good king. They had David, and David couldn't save them. They've had other godly leaders that couldn't save them. What they need and what they needed is the person of Jesus Christ. So all of this is a setup for that, and so that's where our salvation will come. So today's reading, a lot of Jeremiah is going to be sort of difficult in a sense to make through, and I hope you don't get discouraged in it, but focus, ask the Lord to give you direction in a verse like the one in chapter 20 verse 9. I think is a very strong and powerful verse, and ask God just to speak through his word regardless, and to encourage you to continue to speak the truth like Jeremiah did, even at a cost, knowing that God is going to deliver you in due season. Love you guys.